How's it going, everybody? It is Dennis, and it's that time of the week or that time of the month. It's the last payment from YieldMax ETFs Group D. It's the last payment from there for the month of October, and I do have to say it is a big one. It is a huge payment. As you can see on the screen, we have the YieldMax announcement that we could get from Twitter or from their email list or wherever you get their information from. I get it from Twitter. That's where I like looking at their posts. But they posted their dividends that they're going to be paying out for the last week of October, and they are in fact huge. MSTY paying 175.64% return annualized, of course, if it keeps up these payments. 100.45% return on AIYY, 70% return on SQY, 67% return on YMAX, and then we have YMAG 14.96. Yeah, YMAG was not a good week or a good month, or actually a good week for YMAG. And of course that is because, you know, it's going off the Magnificent 7, and there's not many of them on this weekly payment. So it was very, very bad week for YMAG. YMAG paying out a total of 5 cents or 545 or 0.545 for distribution for YMAG. Not a good month or not a good week for YMAG. Of course, if we take a look, I personally own YMAX, I own AMZY, and I own APLY. For anybody who owns MSTY, congratulations, you got $4.1981 per share for this payment for this month. That's incredible. That's the highest payment I'm pretty sure they've done. $4.1981. Crazy dividend. Of course, it's the value of the shares are going to go down by that amount. But anyways, if you had 100 shares, that's $400 right there into your pocket. Or if you had 1,000, that's $4,000 into your pocket. Of course, if you owned MSTY, and actually MSTY was down for a little bit, so if you bought on that low for MSTY and you gained that benefit from the price appreciation, you are now getting an additional $4.1981 for your distribution. As we mentioned before, SQY also paid $1. SMCY paid $5.35. Incredible payments from these ETFs. But of course, we're going to focus on our ETFs, the ones I own, which is YMAX, AMZY, and APLY. Okay, that's the ones I own. Those are the distributions I received for this week for Group D. Of course, if you guys own any of these ETFs and any of these distributions you're interested in, they're right there on the screen. Pause the video, take a look at them. Of course, if you own TSLA or AIYY or any of these funds, take a look at what your distributions are if you have not already. But let's go ahead and take a look at our little sheet where we can see what our distributions will be. Of course, since this is Wednesday when the distributions are announced, I'm recording this. They have not been put into Robinhood yet. So these are just the calculations I've done from the shares I own for ex-dividend date and the dividends they're going to be paying out and how much I'll be earning. So of course, AMZY is the first payment that I received or will be receiving from these YieldMax ETFs. And AMZY will be paying me $224 from the 76.32 cents per share that it will be paying or distributing for my total of 293.5 shares. I'll be receiving $224. The highest amount I've received so far from AMZY. Of course, that's even beating what we were receiving before with the 90 cent and the 95 cent payments. And of course, we were only holding 203 shares. We're almost 100 shares higher, or actually 90 shares higher than we were previously. So of course, this distribution would be higher. But we are outpacing the previous distributions of 188, 129, and 162. So we are slowly, gradually growing. We're reinvesting, as you can see, from 213 to 273, dramatic change, down to 288 to 293. And we're continuing to grow into this. Of course, this leaves us with a total of 293 shares. We've gotten a total payment so far for 2024 or distribution of $6.9766 per share. That's how much we've earned so far from AMZY when it comes to all the distributions combined. And that gave us a total of $1,570.98. Out of these $1,570.98, I am currently down, I think, $500 in that range. So you can say I've earned $1,000 in profit from AMZY alone. Next up, of course, we have APLY. With APLY, we received $73.05, lower than the previous month, similar to the month before that, and of course higher than the months prior to that. But we did increase our shares. We did not increase our shares from the previous month, but we have been increasing our shares gradually. And also APLY, the value of the stock itself, or the value of the ETF itself, has grown as well. The shares have grown in value, so that is very good as well. And of course, we are holding 213.0854 shares, and we got paid out $34.28 per share, lower than the previous month and lower than the month before that, but higher than July. That gave us a total of $73.05, meaning we're holding 213 shares. We got a total payment so far for 2024 of $3.0744, which gives us a total earned from APLY of $603.18. Another ETF that is in the profits, $603.18. I'm currently down around $70 on APLY in the negatives, so around $520-ish, $510 earned so far from APLY. So those are the two main funds. We also have the weekly fund, YMAX, that paid us this week as well. For YMAX, we received $2,268 per share. We are still holding 304 shares, 0.4515, and we got paid $69.05. $69.05. That makes it 29.82% increase from the week prior of $53.19. This is also the highest payment received for this month. We had $61.41 for week 2 and $62.37 for week 1, and we received $69.05 for this week, giving us a total return from YMAX of $246.02 for October, which gives 82.37% increase in dividend return compared to September. But of course, we only received 2 weeks of distributions, so that gave us a little bit of a bias towards the month of October so far. I did want to add a week 5, since if you guys have looked at the calendar, the payment for next week will be on November 1st, and that is the first day of November, and I think it shouldn't really count into the November dividends, but I'll count it anyways. It's fine. We'll include it in November dividends. We'll give November an extra week just to boost that month up, I guess, because it is falling on November 1st, which is the first day of November, of course, November 1st. So I'm not adding a week 5 for October, even though I feel like I should have. We'll give the week 5 to November because of the structure of how November works. And also I went based off how QDTE was, where QDTE had a similar situation a couple months prior. Now, what am I going to be doing with these funds I've earned? With AMZY, again, I'm going to be reinvesting based on how I feel. I feel like AMZY is definitely a buy right now. It has been going down in value. The underlying Amazon has been going down a little bit. AMZY has been going down a little bit. So I think it is a buy. I'll probably reinvest maybe 50% into it, maybe more. With APLY, same thing. I might reinvest maybe more, maybe half, maybe more. It just depends on what I see fit. Of course, with these dividends, I have many ways I can reinvest them. This is what we used to do back when we did have our monthly dividends. So when we received everything at one date on a monthly basis, from TSLA, GUI, APLY, AMZY, I would go ahead and distribute everything evenly out, or I would go ahead and do 50% return into TSLA, and then go ahead and distribute the rest out as well. We can't do that anymore because it is now a weekly payment. So now we have to figure out a new strategy. What I've currently been doing is investing into the next ETF once it has its ex-dividend date. I go ahead and throw money in there, and that allows it to start compounding as soon as, or not start compounding, but start growing in value as well as compounding, I guess you could say. I know a lot of people invest before the ex-dividend date so they could capture those dividends, but I feel like there's no need to rush. I might as well just go ahead and throw it in after the ex-dividend date, capture that cheaper price, allow it to grow on the upside, of course, while it's capturing that income that is starting from the options, and also as it grows in value if the stock goes up. And of course, I do believe the stocks, the underlying stocks of these ETFs will go up. Amazon, Apple, Tesla, Google, AMD. I feel like they will go up. That's why I'm investing into them into the long term, because I do believe in their underlying. And actually, interestingly, I'm going to go ahead and get to it since we're kind of already finished with the distributions. You know, distributions for this week of $224.73. Well, I guess we could talk about what the total is. $224, $73, and then a YMAX with the the 69. That gives us a total weekly income of around, what is that, 69.73, 69.73. That's around what? 140-ish, right? 140 something dollars plus 224. If I'm doing the math correct, I'm pretty sure, yeah. It's 140-ish dollars. Plus 224 is 380-ish dollars earned for the week of the last week of October. So not too bad, not too shabby at all. Of course, we also got a QDT dividend, but there's not a video about QDT, so we're not going to go into that. And I haven't put in the YMAX income just yet. I have to put in that as well, but that's going to be for next week video when we go over our total income we've earned so far for October. But as mentioned before, want to make a little note. TSLA is actually an interesting ETF at the moment, which I want to go over real quick since we're already on the subject of YieldMax ETFs. TSLA is, I believe, currently a good buy. Well, right now, I don't know if it's a good buy. It might be actually a good buy right now. Maybe wait until the ex-dividend date for next week. Once it pays out the dividend and it drops in value, then I think it'll be a good buy. That is because TSLA has put out its report, its financial report for Q3, and it has beat expectations by 72 cents compared to the 58 cents estimated. It has beat expectations for the EPS, earnings per share. Revenue is lower than expected, but it's barely 25.18 compared to 25.4. Gross margin is also up at 19.8, so they're going back to that 20% margin, which I talked about a long time ago in the previous month when I was going in about TSLA. The margins are going back up on their vehicles. And of course, they're holding a lot of cash. They're holding a lot of cash. They're one of the biggest cash holders currently in the EV market. They're holding over, I think, 30 billion, if I'm not mistaken, maybe billion, somewhere in, no, not billion, right? No, 30, it should be 30 million. So they're holding a good amount of money currently on the sidelines. They're currently holding a lot of cash. And also the Cybertruck, of course, this beautiful Cybertruck that everybody's been purchasing and talking about, has now become positive gross margin. So they're earning finally profits on the Cybertruck. They're earning some kind of income from it. It is not a negative for TSLA, and has been very quick to getting to this point. As you know or may not know, a lot of companies like Rivian, like Ford, they're not able to get to this positive gross margin for their trucks and their vehicles, and Cybertruck or TSLA and their Cybertruck was able to do it in less than a year. So now this is another source of income coming in for TSLA. And if you guys did or did not listen to their Q3 reports and their live meeting, they're working a lot into the AI space. They have an AI vehicle coming out, and of course I want to do a separate video on this and I'm explaining, why I'm going back into bullish looks into TSLA and mostly into TSLA. I've actually been slowing down on my reinvestment into TSLA, and I'm actually going to start speeding it back up now, especially after this report, because they just have a lot of things coming. They have their taxi service coming. They have their new van that they're creating. They have the roadster that they're saying is going to be coming out soon. They're finalizing up the way it looks and how it functions. Their power segment is growing as well. Their power segment, when it comes to charging or battery technology, is growing as well. So they're improving in many sectors and many markets. In the overall, how they work, how they function, how many sales they're doing, it is all doing well. It's growing. New Model Y will be coming soon as well. The refurbished, or not refurbished, the new version of the Model Y will be coming out soon, which is the #1 car sale or car seller at the moment in America and many other countries as well when it comes to the SUV market. So there's a lot of things happening with TSLA, and I think people should be more bullish on TSLA. I know the ETF has dropped a lot of value, and of course it is because we've been going through a rough spot with TSLA where it's been staying, it's been having its ups, but of course TSLA wasn't able to capture its ups because its prospectus and strategy was different. But now we're in the prospectus and strategy where they're able to capture that upside, of course minimal, but if you look at TSLA's currently, I think it rose by roughly 10, maybe 13%. The last time I checked, it rose a good amount after market, and guess what? TSLA was able to capture a good amount of it. I think TSLA captured around 8, maybe even 10% as well. It grew in share value about 8-10% closed market or post-market close. So they're able to capture that. They're able to capture that growth that TSLA has with their new strategy, and therefore I think this is the time to buy into TSLA, or of course not financial advice, but I am currently going to be buying into TSLA because I believe with the YieldMax ETF's new strategy of being able to capture the upside after reaching their limit on their contracts, this will allow them to capture TSLA's growth, which I believe will happen soon and will happen dramatically. because they are introducing so many new things coming in 2025 and end of 2024. And I think this is the time to go into TSLA, make your dividends. Even if it does go down, you're still making good dividends. TSLA pays great dividends. I paid $1.90 previously, so it's paying good dividends. You're making good income. It's a cheap ETF to buy into currently. It's in the $11, $12 mark at the moment. So buy into TSLA is what I'm going to be doing. And I just think that's the way to go. As you guys see, I'm still adding shares. I'm adding shares by tens around there. So 354, 364, 377, 389. We're going to be reaching the 400 share mark soon. And I'll probably be expediting that as well, because I'm going to be adding more income into it, more profits that I'm making for options, just to increase that growth as well. Because it has slowed down compared to my other ETFs like QDTE, which is now almost 10% of my portfolio, because it is so stable and such a good payer. But TSLA, I believe, will continue to grow, and it's going to grow dramatically. So that is week D, or segment D of the weekly paying dividends from YieldMax ETF, the weekly paying dividends. That is how much I've earned. $224 from AMZY, $73 from APLY, and then we got $69 from YMAX. I have to put this in as well, but we'll leave that for next week when we go over our monthly income earned for October. And that has been me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope whoever owns MSTY and whoever owns SMCY, you guys have a great week and a great month, because you guys earned a good chunk of money. And I know I was already reading on Twitter, on YouTube comments, and on Reddit that people made a good chunk of money from MSTY and SMCY. So hopefully this keeps it up for you guys. I hope you guys are happy with your investments with those ETFs. Personally, I'm okay. I don't want to go into those ETFs. I already have enough of my own ETFs, which I'm continuing to reinvest in. I'm okay with being on the slow growth scale rather than just getting that, 4K, 40K right off the bat. I'll take it slow. I'm okay. But thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I will see you guys next week when we're going to be going over how much I've earned for the month of October. This month has been pretty good. And QDT earnings have not even been put in yet into the monthly earnings. So I'll see you guys next week when we're going to be going over that. Thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, and also maybe share this video out to somebody who is also invested in YieldMax ETFs, because it seems like YouTube has been slowing down my reach for people. Don't know why. Maybe my video about getting a free vacation did not really fall right into the algorithm. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next video next week.